I heard you inherited some property. But I should have some of it. I was his wife, after all. We were married.
I should have the right to get half too. I could only be astonished when I heard from my ex-wife, who had divorced me. I am Tachikawa Hiroshi. I am 45 years old and work for a small to medium-sized company. After graduating from university, I worked for a large company, but I was driven to despair by the constant late-night overtime and my boss's power harassment, so this year I changed jobs to a local printing company. My ex-wife, Asami, is 40 years old. We met and got married 15 years ago when she was dispatched to my company. Our relationship started to deteriorate after I changed jobs 6 months ago, and she soon left home, saying she was going to remarry a rich man. It may sound like I am bragging, but when I was young, I wasn't bad-looking and had a gentle personality, so I was quite popular. Several people approached me asking to go out with them, but I was so absorbed in my work that I turned them down. Asami was a dispatched employee. She was always alone, not even among the female employees. That Asami became the prey of the boss, who was very powerful. The boss would pick on Ami's small mistakes and make snide remarks in front of everyone. The harassment gradually got worse, and one day I couldn't stand it anymore, so I scolded her. Later, on a day off, Amy was muttering behind me in the company cafeteria, carrying tourist items. "Oh, Amy, earlier, that must have been tough. I'm really sorry." No, it's not your fault for apologizing. I wonder if Tachikawa-san will be the host. Don't worry about that. That was the trigger that brought me closer to Asami. Asami, who had just graduated from high school, had not been able to get a job at a large company and was working as a temporary worker for a large company. I found out the reason later, but apparently she became a temporary worker in order to get a man who worked for a large company. At the time, I had no idea she had such intentions. Even though she was a temporary worker, Asami was the most beautiful woman in the car, so some of my colleagues were after her, hoping to get close to her if they got the chance. Later, when we started dating, we were praised as a beautiful and well-matched couple. I wasn't too opposed to it either. We got married 15 years ago. I was 30 and Amy was 25. Amy proposed. At that time, I had no reason to refuse, so I naturally accepted. 4 years later, our cute child was born, and we named her Lisa. 14 years after we got married, Lisa is now in the 5th grade of elementary school and tells me that she loves her dad the most. She's so cute that I can say with certainty that I can't bear to look at her. Sometimes I regret that I'm being a little too lenient, but it seems that Lisa is still lenient. It was just at the beginning of this year that I, who had been rising through the ranks at a large company, started thinking about changing jobs. I was exhausted both physically and mentally from my boss's power harassment and working overtime late into the night every day, so I started thinking about changing jobs. The hardest part of all was being forced to do pointless work over and over. Even if I finished it without lunch, I was made to redo it. In the end, the very first proposal I submitted was the one that was adopted. On days when I couldn't make the last train because of sales calls or interviews, I would take a nap at a family restaurant in the Jitsugyo sales department. No matter how hard I tried, my boss's verbal abuse wouldn't stop. I was on the verge of depression, couldn't eat, and lost 6 kilograms in 6 months. I finally gave up on my stomach and thought about changing jobs, so I confided in Asami. But naturally, Asami was only concerned about the decline in my quality of life, and was vehemently opposed. I'm a winner because I've made a man at a big company suffer. A woman who can only choose a man who works at a religious company is a loser. She doesn't usually make prejudiced remarks. It was obvious that she would firmly oppose me, her husband, if I worked for a small or medium-sized company. She must think that her value would decrease if her husband didn't work for a big company. I knew Ami's personality, but her reaction was beyond my expectations. Amy was furious and wouldn't even listen to what I had to say. Changing jobs is a no-no. It's absolutely not okay. My salary will be cut in half. I know this, but can you listen to my worries too? What? Isn't it a trivial problem? It's embarrassing to call it trivial. Isn't power harassment a common occurrence? Even when Amy and I met, it was my boss who was the one. What the heck? If you're changing jobs for your own convenience, you should work part-time to make up for the shortfall. Then let's use up our savings. Savings? Don't you have any money saved since we got married? Huh? What nonsense are you talking about? Huh? We decided when we got married that we would put our bonuses into savings. Sleep away. Bonuses are only good for making ends meet. Is that so? So you don't have a single yen left in your savings? That's right. So when you're short on money, work part-time. Okay. I'll work part-time if I absolutely have to. I had no choice but to accept the terms and settle the matter. Hammy sighed in delight at the sight. Oh, my marriage was a complete failure. I married him because he worked for a famous company that I could brag about to everyone. Was that all it was for? Of course not. Now I should probably find a rich man and switch to him. At the time, I thought it was a bad joke. I never dreamed that what Scissors said was the truth. After that, I quit my job at the big company and changed jobs to a small and medium-sized local company. At a printing company with about 20 employees, my salary was half of what it used to be, but there was no harassment, and I was able to regain my peace of mind. My appetite returned and I gradually gained weight. 6 months passed. My hard work was quickly recognized at the printing company, and even though I had only just started working there, I was entrusted with a major client. I received a small salary, but when I got home I immediately reported it to Amy. However, far from being happy, Amy remained closed off and did not respond. Our hearts gradually drifted apart over my change of job. At first, I would not respond to her when I spoke to her, so we stopped talking to each other. Then Hammy started going out more often, and sometimes she would skip work. There were days when she would come home on the first train in the morning. I was angry, but I gave up before I could talk to her, thinking that it would never turn into a proper conversation anyway, so I said nothing. My marriage was at a point where it could not be restored, but the only salvation in my life was my daughter Lisa. Lisa had also noticed that things were not going well between us as a couple. Mom has been going out a lot lately. She was coming home in the morning the other day, wasn't she? Isn't Dad being too lenient with Mom? He spouts out adult-like things like that. No, it's Dad's fault. Dad's not at fault. He just changed companies. Yeah. Well, it's not dinner yet. Should we go get something to eat? It's a waste of money. Lisa will make it. Thank you, Lisa. Sorry for worrying you. It's okay. Lisa, you're not a kid anymore. I see. Here you go. Oh, that looks delicious. I was going to make an omelette rice, but the egg got all mushy. It's okay. It's okay as long as it's in my stomach. Then one day, a shocking situation hit me. I happened to look at Hammy's smartphone and realized that she was cheating on me. We hadn't had a relationship since she changed jobs, and she'd been coming home in the morning recently, so I thought it was strange. But it's also true that somewhere deep down I wanted to believe it. So when I found out, I was honestly quite shocked. It was Sunday afternoon. Asami finally woke up and was immediately fiddling with her smartphone with a cup of coffee in hand. They didn't even say good morning to each other. When the doorbell rang, Asami, who had been fiddling with her smartphone, quickly stood up. She was cheerfully receiving a package from Takabin at the front door. She seemed to be in a good mood because the item she ordered had arrived. Amy, who had been sending a message online on her smartphone until just before, forgot to close it and headed to the front door. She must have received something she really wanted. She seemed so excited that she didn't even notice that her smartphone was open. Then I heard a suspicious message arrive on the open smartphone. I didn't mean to look, but the pop-up message caught my eye. I couldn't help but exclaim at the reply, "I love you too." The evidence of his infidelity was right in front of me. I hesitated for a moment, but if I let this chance slip, I would lose the chance to capture the evidence. I had my smartphone in my hand. His name was Ah. He really was a man. I also looked at the rest of their past conversations. The contents were clearly from Haerchi. I was the one who blamed myself for the embarrassing content that I had never seen in our marriage. "Oh, you're the only one for me. When are you going to divorce your husband? It's almost time. I want to have you all to myself soon. Just wait a little longer. I want to hear your naughty voice soon." Before I knew it, Asami was standing right behind me. She was looking down at me from behind while still holding the cardboard box. "What are you doing?" "What do you mean? Don't look at other people's smartphones without permission." "I apologize for that." "But what? You're cheating on me with another man, aren't you?"
Question mark. Sorry, but I read them all. Give them back to me. Explain the messages to me. If you read them, you should know without me having to ask. So you're admitting that you cheated on me?
No, it's not.
Cheating. I'm serious. Sorry, serious? What do you mean serious? I'm serious. Are we getting married? What? It's
Over with you, who has no resolution. I see. You want to divorce me? Yes. Isn't that obvious? I don't deserve such a poor life. Asami's man is apparently a rich man who owns land and buildings in the local area. He apparently divorced his wife last year, but Asami, who got the information first, seems to have approached him swiftly. The man is over 60 years old, so he must have been seduced and smitten by Asami's sex appeal, who is 20 years younger than him. And he must have agreed to marry her after being pressured. Ah, he's very rich. He apparently owns the building in front of the station and the land for the shopping center. Money is everything to you. Say whatever you want. I'm going to be the wife of a wealthy man. Being sexy is an advantage, isn't it? Amy laughed loudly. I had this ready. Amimi handed me the divorce papers that she had already signed. I didn't have anything more to say. I signed as I was told. After I signed, Hami quickly put them in her bag. Sigh. I'm alive. I agreed with that. What are you going to do, Lisa? Lisa is serious.
Ha. I'll give her to you. She's never been attached to me to begin with. I'm not giving her a dog or a cat. She's always nagging. I didn't like that about you either. Then I'll fill out the paperwork so that she'll be the one who's serious. Yes, thank you. Child support is something that the man pays when the child is with the mother. What are you talking about? You don't know anything about the world. I can't pay it anyway. No, it's a parent's duty, so I'll fill out the paperwork. Is that so? Well, I'll pay it if I can. Hami must be in a really good mood. She was humming a tune as she packed her things. As Amanos headed for the front door, I asked Amy and Lisa if they had any messages or letters, but without even looking back, she put on her shoes and left the house with a clicking sound on her heels. When Lisa came home from school, I told my daughter what had happened. "I'm sorry, Lisa. I might inconvenience you, but I'll do my best. You're lucky to have a dad. I'm lucky not to have a mom like that. Is
that so? Yes, that's right. Because all she does is complain and grumble every day and she doesn't do any housework. Is that so? Then let's live positively together, Dad." Understood. Lisa laughed and did the Kyo pose. I was a little relieved because I was most worried about the impact on my daughter if she got divorced. It had been less than half a year since Mimi remarried when I heard the rumor that she had gotten divorced again. At first, I couldn't believe it and couldn't believe my ears. He was a wealthy man who was famous in the local area, so it must have been a dream come true for Asami. I wonder what on earth caused her to get divorced after only half a year. But then something happened to me and I quickly forgot about Mimi. She's a complete stranger now, so I don't care what happens to her. The incident was that my father went dormant in his brain. My mother passed away early, but my father never remarried and raised me and my brother as a single father. My father was very affectionate and my brothers respected him. I had thought about becoming a parent myself, but I couldn't do it in time and regret washed over me. I was immersed in sadness for a while after the sudden separation. But I couldn't just sit there grieving. After the funeral and the news had been taken care of and I had calmed down a bit, I started working on the inheritance. I had never been interested in my father's inheritance, but when I opened it, I was surprised. My father had left me a considerable inheritance. It consisted of land, savings, and stocks, and the amount was unexpected. The land was in a recently developed area and it turned out to be quite old and had a lot of roots. Since it was old and worthless, I decided to demolish it, but the land alone would not bring me 100 million yen. There was also 50 million yen in savings and stocks, and I also received 50 million yen from a life insurance policy. My brother and I split it up for the time being, and even after paying the inheritance tax of about 10 million yen, we were able to each receive about 90 million yen. At first I was shaken, but since this was a precious asset that my father had left for us, I decided to use it effectively for Lisa. Lisa also became a 6th grader this year. She would soon go to middle school, and going on to high school and university would cost a lot of money. I was worried about the future, as my salary had decreased since I changed jobs to a small and medium-sized company. This was a welcome development for our family, which had no savings due to Hammy's poor financial management. I shuddered just thinking about what would have happened if I hadn't divorced Mimi. Mimi would have had all of the inheritance. Divorcing her was the right decision. I deposited the entire amount for Lisa's future. Then one day, Asami called me out of the blue. "Hiroshi, it's been a while." I thought it was Mimi. "Oh, what's going on?" "What's going on?" "I'm at the bank right now." "Bank? What's that? You haven't transferred the money yet." "What? An
inheritance. An inheritance?
Whose inheritance is it? I heard that."
Your father passed away. There's no point in hiding it. I'm not hiding it anyway. Let me read it to you. Thank you. So, I heard you inherited the estate, right? But so what? I should have my share. I'm his ex-wife. Huh. There's no such thing. We were married. I should have the right to have to. You should look it up online. A wife has no right to inherit. Why, I don't know. I'll ask the person who made the law. Don't be so ridiculous. Does that mean she will have it all to herself? No, it's half and half with my brother. I've met Hiroshi's brother once before. At the wedding. So.
What on earth are you planning? Saying that, Asami hung up the phone. It was a one-sided call, and it was also one-sided. Maybe she was planning something, but I couldn't think of anything inside Asami's head no matter how hard I tried. Well, I was tired of hearing her voice, so I was relieved that she gave up so quickly. But then the incident happened. My brother contacted me 3 days later. He wanted to talk to me in person, so we arranged to meet at a bar in front of the station. My brother was at his wit's end. It seems that Hammy called him. Huh? Amy? Amy? I couldn't help but ask again. Yes, it's my brother's ex-wife, Amy. Amy called him? That's right. She said she had something very important to talk about. What do you mean, important? It's about the inheritance. The inheritance that we inherited from our father? Yes, that's it. Then she contacted me too, and she called to tell me to write a letter to my brother. Seriously? That's why I told her that my wife had no rights and that she had committed adultery with my brother. That's why she called me to a bar and made me cry. She said she was in financial trouble. When it got to this point, all I can say is that it was amazing. And then she invited me to a hotel. I was the one who had the upper hand, so I refused. She was the embodiment of money and desire. It was definitely the right decision to get divorced. That's true. Thinking back on it now. But even so, Asami didn't give up. More things happened. He must be really desperate for money. I got another call. Hiroshi. Hey, what are you talking about? You don't want us to get back together? I'm really struggling. It's none of my business. Help me. You brought this on yourself. Look for someone else. There's no other way. But stop counting on me. I'll do my best for you this time, so just give me one more chance. Besides, you're not really struggling for money. You married a rich man. Are you talking about Akira?
No, I forgot his name. Oh, then she got divorced. I'd heard rumors about it, but it was true. Divorced? Seriously? We haven't been married that long. Actually, I messed up a little bit. What did I do? I cheated on him with a man in his 30s. He left it to me. He found out and kicked me out. He's asking me to pay him alimony, so I'm in trouble. Did I cheat on him? What a ridiculous guy. He's a 60-year-old old man, after all. You get it, right? No, I don't understand it at all. Do something about it. He has to pay 2 million yen in compensation. He's a rich guy, but he's a strong old man. But there's someone scary behind the scenes, and if he doesn't pay soon, he'll be in big trouble. Help me. Besides, he hasn't paid a single yen in child support yet. Shut up. Oh, yoiku, like that. Amy was silent for a moment. That's right. She realized something good. It seems that Amy had an idea from the word child support that I mentioned. I had a shiver down my spine, feeling that something bad was going to happen. My hunch was right. The next day, Lisa disappeared. Even at 5:30 p.m., Lisa hadn't come home. She had never broken her promise to me that she would play with her friends until 5 p.m. before. First, I called the school, but they said she had gone home at 3:30 p.m. as usual. Next, I went to Lisa's friend's house, but they said she wasn't playing today. That made me think, could it be that? But my thoughts went in the wrong direction. I was worried that she might have been involved in an accident or incident. I checked the location information stored on Lisa's smartphone. It showed an internet cafe in the city. Lisa, who was in the 6th grade, had never been to an internet cafe. She might have been kidnapped. Then I got another call from Hiroshi. It was about the inheritance. I don't have time for that right now. Did something happen? Lisa. Lisa is here. What? Oh, I want to see Lisa sometimes too. I have the right to see her. I was worried about her. What are you doing? Lisa is the child I gave birth to. What's wrong with being with her? Why are you dragging her around now when you've been ignoring her all this time? It's she's fault. She won't share in my misery. I should have explained that to you. Yeah. But Lisa is related to you and your father by blood, so she has the right to inherit the estate. Are you taking Lisa around for the inheritance? My brain was boiling. I had never felt this angry before. He would leave Lisa for another man for money and leave her, and then take her around for his own convenience. I was filled with anger at his unreasonable behavior. Listen carefully. Lisa doesn't need a mother. But I'll take Lisa, so pay Lisa's inheritance and child support in one lump sum. Do you know what you're doing? I was speechless. As soon as I hung up the phone, I called the local police and asked for advice. The police dispatched officers to the internet cafe on an emergency basis, and I rushed there too. As I was driving to the internet cafe, I received a message online. I stopped the car and checked line, and it was from Lisa. Dad, help me. I'm at the internet cafe in front of the station. Mom is currently absorbed in an online game, so I secretly sent you a line message.
I stepped on the gas pedal of the car again. The police had already arrived at the internet cafe and were just breaking into Amy's room. Amy ended up being arrested. What are you doing? This is the child I gave birth to. What's wrong with being with her? She didn't seem to understand at all why she was being arrested, and she was acting defiantly towards the police. You're not being serious. If someone who isn't serious takes someone away, even if it's their own child, they'll be charged with a crime. The police separated Asami from Lisa. Asami, who was causing a huge commotion, was forcibly taken away by the police. If someone who isn't serious takes someone away like this, they'll be charged with the crime of raping a minor, and will be sentenced to between 3 months and 7 years in prison. She's really an ex-wife with no common sense. Amy will probably be framed by the police too. I don't know if she understands, but Lisa watched Asami being taken away while being protected by the police. Lisa, are you okay? Dad was scared. Are you hurt? Yes, I'm fine. The school mom was hiding in the shadows of the gate and forcibly brought me here. I see. That's good, you're safe. Lisa jumped into my arms and said, Dad, I'm hungry. Seeing her looking healthy was a relief. Okay, let's eat some yakiniku and go home. Yes. As a result, Asami was given a suspended sentence, taking into account that it was her first offense and that she was remorseful, and that Lisa wasn't injured. But she still got a full sentence. She was blinded by money and ended up getting a full sentence. And the police told her that grandchildren have no right to inherit their grandfather's estate. She seemed to have learned her lesson after being explained the details of mass inheritance. In the end, Asami caused all sorts of trouble just to pay the alimony, but I couldn't rest easy even with a full sentence. She dumped me, forcibly divorced me, and continued to have affairs, aiming for other people's inheritances to pay the alimony. When that didn't work, she tried to destroy my brother's family and even kidnapped his daughter. Is there any other woman as evil as her? I decided to demand compensation to show my worth. The compensation claim from now on has not yet been accepted. I had just inherited the estate and was not short of money, but my goal was to punish Asami for being so selfish. I hired a lawyer and demanded 3 million yen in compensation from Hami. In the end, Hami went crying to her parents and borrowed 5 million yen in compensation for me. However, after hearing the story, her parents were so shocked that they refused to lend her a single penny, which moved Amy. Amy borrowed as much as she could from loan sharks, and Akira apparently paid it off, but I still have more than half left. She has not received any child support either. Asami, who has nowhere to sleep, sleeps in an internet cafe and apparently works at a notorious wool pillow shop to earn money every day to pay off the high interest from the loan shark. Riza, who graduated from elementary school, passed the entrance exam for the first degree junior high school and goes to school every day with energy. She has started talking about her dream of studying abroad someday. I live frugally, not wasting a single yen, so that Lisa can live the life she wants. The printing company job suited me well, and my sincere efforts were recognized. And surprisingly, the president, who had no second-generation president, has even said that he wants to leave the management to me in the future. It's important to proceed steadily and positively in everything. As always, I will continue to watch over Lisa's growth and do my best to fill my life with happiness in my own way.